On behalf of Senator Morlock, who is in a committee and has 3 bills he's presenting right now, or waiting in, I think, Education Committee, we've been asked just to briefly ask the committee to consider SB 1363, which creates a new National Alliance on Mental Illness California Voluntary Tax Contribution Fund. The donation will aid in training law enforcement officers to assist and engage safely with persons living with mental illness. And I'm going to turn it over to Senator Bell, since he is a co-author and is much more familiar with the bill than I am.
Well, thank you, Mr. Chairman. As a bipartisan bill, I'd like to state as chairman of the Senate Select Committee on Mental Health that this is a very important bill, because what it does is establishes a fund that will help our police officers and our communities to avoid unfortunate situations regarding individuals with mental illness in their relationship with law enforcement. This will allow a community program to be established under the auspices of NAMI, which is a family-supported created organization, many members in the legislature, many members in our staff, including myself, I have to disclose, having a stepson who has schizophrenia. And we believe that these family-oriented organizations working with the police department can reduce unfortunate incidents. And we urge your support. This is a crisis in California. It is very costly to government. We're the tax committee. Many lawsuits, many altercations, deaths, injuries. This can reduce it by creating these crisis intervention teams. And so it's a good cause. I urge support on this committee.
Thank you so much. I do want to say thank you to the Senator and the Vice Chair for presenting here today, and to the Senator from San Jose for all of his work on all issues of mental health. Again, this bill has bipartisan support, so we're going to ask each of our witnesses to be able to give a truncated presentation. We welcome you to committee, and thank you so much for being here.
Mr. Chairman and members, Brian Lundgren of Platinum Advisors on behalf of the National Alliance of Mental Illness California. As both senators indicated, this legislation will bring together law enforcement advocates of those living with mental illness and those who suffer from this disease. But more importantly, or just as importantly, it will also allow Californians who may not be comfortable right now in outwardly addressing the issue of mental illness to quietly, in their own way, contribute to the program and help improve the lives of those living with this mental illness. I want to thank the senators and this committee and committee staff for its help. Now, Jessica Cruz, the Chief Executive Officer of NAMI California, will also offer her perspective.
Yes, thank you so much, Mr. Chairman, and the members of the committee. And thank you for your bipartisan support of this bill. For about 30 years, NAMI has been working with local law enforcement to train them in de-escalation and family involvement, and really working to reduce the violence that happens with police officers and our loved ones when they are encountered by law enforcement. Right now, the mental health system doesn't have a place for us to go, so when we dial 911, we're either going to get an ambulance or a law enforcement officer. And so for 30 years, NAMI, which is a 75% run organization throughout the nation, and within California, we have 62 local affiliates, 75% run by volunteers. This will help us fund and create capacity and resources for our local NAMIs to work with the local law enforcement to continue the work that they are doing. We have trained at the state level with NAMI California. Like I said, we have 62 local affiliates, over 20,000 paid membership, but we represent all families and individuals who are impacted by mental illness. We have worked with the BART Police Department and trained 99% of their officers, and with the California Highway Patrol, where 11,000 of their uniformed and ununiformed officers have been partnering with NAMI. And a quick and
our own staff.
And yeah, and our own staff. Right, we present at the Senate Committee of on Mental Health. And so we're continuing the work we do. And a quick anecdotal story, about 4 years ago when an incident happened on a street in LA with a California Highway Patrol officer, we reached out to the Commissioner Joe Farrow at the time. He sat down with us, and that is when he implemented his mental illness response team unit. Since then, like I said, they've trained 11,000 of their officers in the 40-hour training, the crisis intervention training of 40 hours where they actually connect with community-based organizations. Since then, the same woman that was on the freeway that had a horrible incident was just met by officers a couple months ago, and the story is what you could expect, a success story where she was then helped to find resources rather than an altercation. So thank you so much for the support, and we look forward to this bill being passed.
Thank you so much, Ms. Cruz, and grateful for your work. We welcome anyone else in support. If you could just state your first and last.
Alex Hawthorne with the California Hospital Association. Mental behavioral health is a top priority for the association. Appreciate the sponsor and the author bringing it forward.
Thank you so much. Good to see you. Hey, good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Chair and members. Usha Machlar on behalf of the California State Sheriff's Association in support. Thank you.
Thank you. Good to see you. Would anyone else like to be able to proceed forward to be able to speak in support of the bill? Do we have anyone that who may be opposed or have concerns? We will bring it back to this committee to be able to see if we have any questions or conversation or a motion. All right, we have a motion by Senator Hernandez. We offer closing comments to the Vice Chair of the Senator.
Just respectfully ask for an aye vote.
Just thank Senator Morlock. He's an active member of the Senate Select Committee on Mental Health, and this is a great bill on behalf of Senator Morlock.
Thank you so much. Very grateful to the two of you. This is the motion by Senator Hernandez is the due pass to appropriations. Roll call vote, please. Ms. Lanchester.
McGuire.
Aye.
McGuire, aye. Wynn.
Aye.
Wynn, aye. Bell.
Aye.
Bell, aye. Hernandez. Aye. Hernandez, aye. Hertzberg. Laura. Morlock.
Hey, that's right. Thank you so much. That enjoys a 4-0 vote, and do appreciate the work by our Vice Chair as well as the Senator.